to Universal After Dark, a Universal podcast that's not the same as all the others.
Hello and welcome to Diz After Dark, the Universal edition. I'm Chris.
And I'm Amanda.
And where's everyone else?
I think they've been abducted by aliens.
Well, the real reason is I was late and, Paul's on the sauce again, I think. And Craig's on holiday and Nick is... I don't know where Nick is.
He's disappeared.
Mr. Dolan it's not his duty tonight. And the other Paul, well, he's on some spy mission probably somewhere, isn't he?
Probably.
So that just leaves you and I.
Just the two of us.
Building sandcastles in the whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's the first news item we need to talk about tonight then, Amanda?
So, it's been rumoured that Dragon Challenge is going to be no more.
Wow.
Apparently, it's going to be replaced with either another coaster or a dark ride based on Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
So this is the new film that's not come out yet, is that right?
Yeah, the new one, it's not come out yet, but it's been pretty heavily rumoured over the internet for the last few days, and it makes me so sad.
So do you think they might just be doing what Disney's going to do with the Tower of Terror, just do an overlay?
Well, I don't know, because even when the ride got renamed and stuff, when Harry Potter came around, the queues are just never big for it. It's always a 5-minute wait, so I don't know whether people just aren't into it at all.
So what's wrong with it then?
Well, I like it, so I don't know what people don't like about it, but I think whenever I see people coming off it, they're always like, oh, it's dead rough, knocked my head around, didn't like it, but I don't feel like that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people got a bit upset because it didn't duel anymore.
Yeah. But then, when they introduced the metal detectors, because you have to go through a metal detector every time you go on it now,
yeah,
I thought that was going to make them duel again. Because I think that I'm sure that I heard, the reason they stopped dueling them was because things were flying out of people's pockets. And hitting each other. So if they've got metal detectors and they're stopping people from taking things on, surely that would mean that they could duel again.
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I guess people just aren't into it. And so if they're saying that there's a possibility of it being another dark ride, maybe they're just going to get rid of it altogether.
Oh, so build something completely new there then.
Yeah, but I love the queue bit. I think even if they just did a little bit more with the queue bit, it would maybe make people want to go on it more.
Didn't they have a Halloween Horror Nights house in that queue once?
I don't know, did they?
I think they did.
You're the expert.
I know, that's the problem. Logan always puts me on the spot as well. Although I put myself on the spot on this occasion.
Yeah, you did.
I'm pretty sure there was. But yeah, the queue used to be a lot more detailed than it is now, but it is still pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, because didn't they used to have people that would be in the queue anyway through the day?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm positive that they used to have people in the queue.
Yeah, kind of brings it into perspective a bit when people moan about that one scare actor in the Kong queue. When,
Well, yeah, exactly. Which I still haven't seen, by the way. But my friend just got back from... He did a road trip around the East Coast.
Yeah.
And he spent the last couple of days in Orlando. And it was his first time going to Universal Studios. And he hated Kong.
Oh.
I know. I was like, you can't say that because you've never been before. And he was like, no, it just wasn't very good. But he did enjoy the Hulk. So it's not all bad.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I must admit, when I went on Kong's section of the tram tour in Hollywood, I wasn't overly impressed with it.
Well, even just what I've heard of the animatronic, you've got to be impressed with the animatronic.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool. But, yeah, he said it wasn't very good, the screens weren't working.
Oh, no.
I know, and I was like, oh no, it's really new, so I can't imagine that. And he was like, yeah, I went on it twice and the screens didn't work either time.
Blimey.
So that's not good.
I mean, if the animatronic is bigger and more detailed than the one that was in Confrontation, because you must remember Confrontation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'll be happy.
Well, I was trying to tell him about that ride, and I was like, does this sound like that animatronic? And he was like, well, I think that ride sounds better than this one. But I don't know. I guess I'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to do a Diz After Dark Universal Edition Does Kong or something.
Yes, exactly. Except we won't be allowed to film on it. So it'll have to be an after ride.
Yeah.
But the next bit of news was that Toothsome looks like it's going to be opening pretty soon, and I'm hearing the end of the month.
Wow. Bloody hell, they've built that pretty quick then.
Well, exactly. And they've got drinks stocked in the fridges in there already. They've had characters outside the last couple of days talking to people. So I think it's going to be any time now.
Crikey. Because, yeah, that again, they're going to have actors in there, aren't they?
Exactly. And the characters looked pretty cool. The uniforms looked so cute.
Right. It's a bit of an experience in this one.
Exactly. And the menus have been released. So they've released pictures and prices of all the milkshakes that they're going to do. And, I mean, they're pretty expensive. They're like $12 and $13, but they look awesome.
Oh, any taking your fancy?
Yeah, there's a peanut butter one. Looked amazing. And a red velvet one.
I had a peanut butter shake earlier today, actually, funny enough.
I love peanut butter milkshakes.
Yeah.
They're so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think MGM Hollywood Studios does a peanut butter and jelly milkshake, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I tried to get it last year. And is it the thing by the dinosaur?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't open. I know.
The like Ma and Pa diner place. I can't remember what the name of it is now.
Yeah. So I couldn't get it. And then Cowfish does some pretty amazing milkshakes, apparently. So when we went to Cowfish, we ordered them when we sat down for our meal.
Yeah.
And then after about 45 minutes, we were like, hey, like, where's our milkshakes? Like, we ordered them ages ago. And she was like, oh, the guy that makes them just kind of decides when he wants to bring them out. So
What?
he wants to make them, like, you'll get them. But if not, like, you won't get them. And we were like, what? Like, didn't think it was a choice. Like, random whether or not we get it. So we didn't get them.
What?
Yeah, no, we didn't get them.
What, he just decides who does and doesn't get their milkshakes?
Yeah, I guess so. So we didn't get to try these milkshakes. We left pretty unimpressed.
Yeah, see, I want to love Cowfish, but when we've been, they've always gone, oh, we've got a waiting list.
Oh,
And
what?
yeah, so we've always had to wait around. And a few times we've done that, I've noticed that there'll be loads of empty tables. And you think to yourself, well, why are we waiting outside when there are clean, empty tables waiting for people to sit down? And with the guys out the front with the podium, they said, oh, well, the time thing where we text you to come back, it's just done on a timer basis. So we just say, oh, it's going to be 20 minutes, and you have to go and shop for 20 minutes. So they don't actually text you when there's an empty table. They only text you after 20 minutes.
What?
It's a bit ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, I enjoyed the food, but I think it was just a bit of a weird service. Wasn't very impressed with it.
No, but hopefully Toothsome then they'll get their act together, and do a better service than what Cowfish does.
Hopefully, because people are really, really looking forward to it, and it does look like it's going to be really good.
Whereabouts is it located then on City Walk?
So it is where the NBA restaurant was. So it's near to the Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh yeah. That used to be sort of
really awesomely.
You what? Sorry.
They redesigned the building like really awesomely. They've got big pipes on there and big cogs and things. It looks amazing.
So sort of steampunked.
Yes, it looks incredible.
Did they demolish that building then, or have they refurbished it?
No, they just refurbished it.
Oh right.
And they've done it pretty quickly, really.
Yeah, because it wasn't that long ago, was it, that it was announced?
No, and then they kind of just managed to throw it all up really, really quick.
Wow.
I know.
Because that's down towards the gate towards Islands of Adventure, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. And I didn't ever enter that NBA, but it always seemed pretty empty.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anyone in there.
No, like I was just saw kids going and playing the games that were at the front of it. Like I through the door, but I never actually saw anyone in the restaurant.
No.
So I don't know whether it was that good.
No, aren't they rumoured to be going to Disney Springs now?
Well, I'm sure that Disney Quest was supposed to close for it to go there, and then every few months they say Disney Quest's closing, and then it doesn't. So I think they're holding on to Disney Quest.
Oh, it's the thing with Disney. They're going to do this, they're going to do that, and then they say they're going to do it, and then it takes ages for them to do it, and then you get so bored of waiting for it.
Exactly. So we might get an NBA restaurant in 5 years.
Yeah. It's like Avatar. What's that now? 2017?
Yeah.
And only half of it's going to be open?
Oh, what? I didn't know half of it was going to be open. Is that real?
Well, they're not going to have the... well, I don't know. This is just rumour, I think. I don't think they're going to have the log flume open.
Oh, what?
It's just going to be the main sort of soaring type ride.
Oh, well, that's not good.
And another thing about Disney's Animal Kingdom, supposedly they're cutting back on all the night hours.
Ah.
Did you see that?
No.
Well, they've done all this nighttime entertainment. The Jungle Book thing finishes early September. And then the calendar says they're not opening late in September and October.
Oh, really?
So
Ah.
I wanted to go and see Rivers of... No, is it Rivers of Light? No, it's... Is it? Yeah, it is Rivers of Light, the one that's going to replace Jungle Book, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that even happening now?
Well, don't know. They haven't said
Because
anything.
it seems to be taking an awful long time.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it'll be there when we're there. Maybe it won't be. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. What else we got then, news-wise, for Universal?
So, Halloween Horror Nights have had a pretty big week with announcements.
Never heard of this event. What is this again?
Oh, it's just something that some guy wrote a book for it, but you probably haven't read it.
Okay, cool.
But they've had such a mega week, and I've just been making videos left, right, and centre trying to keep up with all their announcements, and I'm tired now.
Big shout out to your videos. They're really good.
Thanks. One's going to be released like when this podcast finishes, and this is the one that I've enjoyed making the most. So I'm excited about this one. But I love all the announcements that have came out.
Do you think they did an announcement today because of an article I published this morning?
Well, it was a bit coincidental, wasn't it? How they were wanting to wait for a few weeks and then they just happened to release it today.
Well, I was told yesterday that they were going to announce it on the 5th of September because that's when the TV series is going to announce about the new series.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, well, I'll release it tomorrow, plenty of time. And then weirdly, they then decide to announce it about, what was it, 2 hours after I published that article?
Yeah, pretty much. I had half a face of makeup on. It's like the quickest video I've ever made in my life.
Oh dear. It's the same thing with Scare Zone. You know, every time we release a show, we give it a day, or all the same day, and then they'll announce something.
Exactly. Scare Zone cares.
It is. We had that. Well, we've done an amazing episode interviewing two of the people behind Krampus, and as you no doubt heard, and it's the day we announced it, Universal goes, "Oh, we've got this special secret house that that we've been working on for the last 12 months that uses virtual reality."
Oh, I'm so excited for the virtual reality house.
Are you going to pay extra and do it?
Yes. 100% yes.
Are we doing it on our RIP tour?
Well, the thing is, I don't think that Ash wants to do it. So I'm all up for doing it on the RIP night, but I just don't want to leave Ash by herself. So maybe, I mean, if everyone else wants to do it that night, then I'm down for it. But I think it's going to be the scariest house that I've ever been in.
Right, well, I can tell you now, exclusive for Diz After Dark Universal Edition,
Who?
that there are people that I know who have done it, and they say it is by far the most terrifying thing they've ever done.
So how would it work though? Because it's not just gonna be VR, is it? It's gonna be VR and scare actors.
Oh yeah, there's going to be real people in there.
So I'm feeling like how are you going to interact with the scare actors if you're wearing a VR headset?
I don't know.
The only thing that I can think of is that you kind of start off with the VR headset in one room, but then how could you be like guided around a house with it on? I don't know. But I feel like you'd start in one room with the headset on and then you'd take it off and go through the rest of it. Maybe. That's the only way I can think of that it would work.
I'm going to have to sit down with some of the people that have done it and find out, I think.
Yeah, definitely, because I want to know what I am up against here, because I'm scared about it already.
Well, yeah, as I say, 2 of them that I've spoken to, at least 2, said it was the most terrifying thing they've ever done. Not just at Halloween Horror Nights, just in general. And one of them, he goes to haunts all over the country.
Oh, really?
So for him to say it was terrifying, it must be. I mean, the only other thing is perhaps, I don't know, if it's got a physical set, is it a mixture that you can see through it as well as the VR? Or?
Oh, I don't know. I just don't know how it's going to work, but I'm really excited to try it. I know that a few people weren't too happy about it because it's an upcharge house.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know what that is, it's where you pay a bit extra to have like a more intimate experience. And so people weren't very happy about the fact that it was $49.99 on top of your regular admission. But I feel like if they weren't charging for it, it couldn't possibly work.
Yeah, there'd be too many people, wouldn't there?
Yeah, because you're going to go through in groups of 4. So if you were waiting for groups of 4 all night, it would literally take all night to get people through it. The queues would be hours long. So I'm definitely up for paying extra for a house where there's going to be less people going through it. Whether it was VR or not, I think I'd still pay for it.
Yeah. Because the funny thing was, the day before they announced it, I was talking to a couple of people and they were saying that there's construction work going on in one of the sound stages. So I said, well, why is that weird? They said, well, it's in one of the sound stages that they don't use very often. Usually it's used for things like filming and things. But it's in one of the buildings that's not been announced for Halloween Horror Nights. But it is the same people that built the houses working in there. Because they do use different companies, but there's one company in particular called Fake Construction, and they do a lot of the construction and then the demolition work on these houses every year. And they were going into this soundstage, which I think is one of the old Nickelodeon sound stages.
Yeah, I've heard that's going to be in one of those.
Yeah, so people were saying, well, what are they building in there? So then a lot of people were saying, oh, well, it's American Horror Story and, blah, blah, blah. It might be something else. It might be, for meetups and stuff like that, because they had a few meetups, didn't they, towards the end of last year. And then it was announced that it was this virtual reality house. So I don't know. It's all very interesting, and it's a pretty big footprint, that building. I mean, it's not small.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what's making me think that it mustn't be all virtual reality, because there's no way that they could guide you through it if you can't see where you're going.
Well, this is it as well. I mean, you're going to have 4 people sent off, and then a space for a bit, and then another 4 people sent off. So, I mean, you've got to have a constant chain of people because, obviously I know you're paying extra, but they're going to need to fit, a few hundred people for you through at least every hour, haven't they?
Well, exactly. And I've heard as well that you need to kind of dedicate quite a bit of time for this. So you need to book your slot and you need to arrive there about 30 minutes before. But I think for the whole thing, you need to allow about an hour. Wow. So it takes up quite a big chunk of your night.
Yeah, I mean, if we do an RIP, if we lose an hour for this, that's a huge chunk of time, isn't it?
Well, yeah, considering that then you've got Bill and Ted, you've got the other show that was announced,
Yeah.
and then you've got to do every house and every scare zone as well.
Wow.
So maybe the RIP tour one isn't a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be going back once or twice on top of this, I think. So maybe fit it in then.
Exactly.
What was the other show that was announced?
So that was Academy of Villains House of Fear. So when I first heard this, I was like, oh, Chance's going to have a show and she's going to get all these people involved. But that's not what it is. It's a dance troupe.
Yeah, because we thought it was going to be the Jabberwockies. That's what we'd heard, but it's a similar kind of group, isn't it?
Well, I haven't seen much about these. I've heard that they were on America's Got Talent, but I don't watch America's Got Talent.
No.
So I haven't seen much about them.
I think it's a shame. I think they're missing a trick with not having a chance house. I mean, this is something that I heard a long time ago. And I kind of wished it wasn't true, but it's unfortunately come round as being true. Because I think they could do a good kind of show for her that kind of rips on the fact that Jack's not there.
Yeah, I think they could have done an incredible show. Even if it wasn't the same kind of length that the show last year was, even if it was a kind of mini show. Or even like what they used to do a few years ago where there'd be a little show as you walked in.
Yeah, opening ceremonies.
Yeah. Something like that would have been amazing.
Yeah, because I was saying the other day about how I feel a bit shortchanged that she's not got a show, but then I was quickly told, well, Lady Luck didn't have a show, and Bloody Mary didn't have a show, and some other ones didn't have a show. So it's sort of, I think the problem is we're comparing her to Jack too much, but then I don't think that's bad. I think she should have a show.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that as much as I loved Lady Luck and I loved all the others, I think Chance is totally different. And she is more like Jack, and I feel like a show really would have worked so well. And like you said about feeling shortchanged, I feel a bit like that because yes, she'll have a scare zone and yes, she'll have a house, but where else will we see her?
Yeah. I don't think the actress is contracted to do the event either.
Oh, well, that makes me really sad because she's so good.
She's one of their best.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And it's a shame that when Chance is in the spotlight, she's not going to get her chance. So that's pretty sad. But another announcement that came today was American Horror Story. And I'm so excited.
Have you watched this?
I love American Horror Story so much.
Wow.
Do you not watch it?
No, not yet.
Oh, what? It's amazing. You can have loads of catching up to do before the event starts then.
Yeah, I know. So which is the best series then out of all of the seasons?
I like Murder House, which is season 1, and Freak Show, which is season 4. So both of those are going to be covered, and so is season 5, Hotel.
Yeah.
But 1 and 4 I think are the best.
Why have they done 1, 4, 5 then?
I don't know. Why have they?
No, I don't know.
Maybe because people think they're the best. I mean, season 2 was in an asylum, so that could have worked well. It could have worked well with the whole Chance thing if they had done Asylum, Freak Show, and something to do with Chance.
Good point.
But then season 3 was Coven, and I feel like there wouldn't really be a lot that they could do with that. And then obviously season 6 isn't out yet. It's not being fully announced yet, so I'm guessing I couldn't do anything on that.
Rumoured to be the Lost Colony, isn't it, or something?
Well, I keep seeing all different things about it, and I don't know whether they're fan-made or not.
Yeah. Well, the where I heard the Lost Colony from was the same contact that told me that American Horror Story was definitely going to be announced. So.
Okay, so then is the thing that's going around now where it's like a tent and a body, and then the body kind of snaps in half? Is that?
Don't know. Not sure. I'll ask him.
Yeah, that's the one I've been seeing most for the last 2 days. But I think this is going to work so well as a house.
It's going to be an Uber house as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's going to be amazing.
When I say Uber house, I don't mean it's going to be a single man in a Prius. What I mean is it's going to be it's going to be on one of those big sound stages with just this house in it.
Yes. And I think it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Only that I don't know much about it, but I'm gonna, definitely look into it. I mean, the Carnival series, particularly to me, looks a lot like, Carnival Carnage and things.
Yeah.
So
The Freak Show season is awesome.
yeah,
And I think that'll fit in really well with Chance this year. Because when they were announcing things and they said that like all the houses would link in with Chance, how are they going to do that?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, originally, wasn't the idea that it was going to be each of these houses were like toys in a toy box or something?
Yeah.
And they'd all sort of spilled out into reality or something.
Yeah, so then I'm just wondering how we're going to see like bits of Chance involved with these.
Well, maybe they'll be involved in her house.
Maybe. And her house sounds awesome. So that was another thing that got announced last week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a 3D house.
So it's possibly going to be the comedy house as well then of the year.
Yes. Now, I don't usually like 3D houses, but I do think this is going to be really good. Because it's going to be like we're seeing two different things. So we'll see what she's seeing in her head, which is going to look all amazing and how she thinks it is. But then we're going to see like the truth and the dark side of it, like what's really happening. So I'm interested to see how they're going to create that.
Yeah, because generally speaking, the events Icons house is usually pretty good, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Like last year with Jack's house, his was definitely one of the best.
It was incredible.
So, and then her house again, we're not quite sure because isn't it a brand new building that they're putting up next to Men in Black?
Yeah, I keep seeing like aerial photos of it, and so you were talking about this a few episodes ago, where there was like a thing that was coming out the back of it.
That's right.
And I keep seeing that everywhere now, and I'm like, what is that?
Strange.
Yeah, it's like a weird shape on the end of the tent, and the tent itself's a weird shape as well.
Yeah, because that back bit is like loads of switchbacks, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It might be you got to run or... I don't know.
The only thing that I can guess is like the way that it's laid out, I'm thinking that it's just going to be loads of mirrors. So that you've got to try and find your way out.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it looks weird.
Yeah, the mirrors. There was they've done that in a few houses before. That can get a bit interesting when people get lost.
Yeah, definitely, and a lot of bruised heads.
Yeah, people banging into walls. I remember that in a few houses.
Exactly.
And the scare zones were announced, weren't they?
Yes, and I love all these scare zones. I love the ideas of them all. So my favourite one that got announced was Vamp 1955.
Yes.
This one sounds awesome.
Yeah. Our pal Logan, that he said that's going to be his favourite, come what may, that one.
Oh, I'm just going to live in the scare zone, I think. So it's going to be based on a homecoming parade, and then it's going to be kind of gate crashed by vampire greasers.
Do we know where this is going to be?
Well, going off of the fan-made map,
yeah,
it's going to be on the road where Terminator 2 is.
Okay, so the Hollywood section.
The Melrose.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to work really well there.
Yeah, that would tie in with Mel's and all that area, wouldn't it?
Exactly. But is this going to be an actual kind of parade?
I don't know.
Like when they did the Festival of the Dead, I think it's called Parade.
Yeah.
Is it going to be something like that, or are they just going to be on the kind of platforms like the Icons were last year?
Probably going to be... I would say it's probably going to be like that... do you remember that Mardi Gras scare zone?
Yeah.
Where they had the floats, but they'd all broken down?
Uh-huh.
I reckon it might be like that one.
Maybe. I'm just really excited for it. I am actually going to live in the scare zone. So then the next one is Banshee's Lair. So that one is like a traditional forestry kind of like mythological kind of scare zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put in the video that I put up a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'd read on the Universal blog at the bottom, they'd done like a question and answer bit, and they'd said that it was going to be traditional Halloween with like Celtic influences.
Oh, interesting.
So, well, exactly. So I did a little bit of Googling, and then what came up was Samhain. And then I was like, recognise that word, and I recognised it because it's what was written on the wall in Halloween 2. And so that is a festival that celebrates the end of the harvest season and moving into like winter. And then I just thought it's going to be scarecrows in there as well. And I couldn't handle that.
That's interesting.
So I think it's just going to be a mixture of all kinds of things in there.
Perhaps they'll put that Nathaniel Crow in there.
Well, maybe.
And whereabouts did you say it's going to go?
I think that's going to go in the Central Park area.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Because then that's all kind of shaded and foresty, and that's where scare zones like that tend to work the best, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. What's going in the New York area?
So that's going to be Survive or Die.
Okay.
So this one is going to be a kind of apocalypsey kind of one.
Right.
So something's happened to the Earth's atmosphere, and there's a couple of groups of survivors, and they've created this machine that can make fresh air to kind of help them survive. But they're all battling for control of this machine, and we have to choose the right side, or we have to feed the winner's side.
Oh.
So it's going to be an interesting one. But I feel like this is going to be cannibal-y.
Could well be, couldn't it?
Yeah, but I saw some of the props that have been going up on your blog today.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Scott. He was there with his camera earlier.
Yes, they were very interesting pictures. And so the stuff's going up around the monument that's near the mummy already, and it looks interesting.
And might there be a shop going up around there as well?
There might be the big Halloween Horror Night shop going into the Macy's front.
They could not have a shop this year, could they? Let's be honest.
With all the merchandise that they sold out of last year, they have to.
Yeah.
I spent a million bajillion nights trying to find these Friday the 13th lunchboxes for Ash. We went to every single shop every night until we found them. Everything just went out of stock every single night.
Yeah, it did do.
Yeah.
Even those really expensive props that they made, they all sold out as well.
Everything.
Yeah.
And all I saw all night, every night, was people buying that Jack mask.
Yeah.
Every single night. So they couldn't take it with them until the end of the night. So at the end of the night, you'd just see a load of people walking out with this Jack mask. It was really funny.
Because I think when I spoke to Universal about, I don't know, about a week after the event had finished, they had about a couple of dozen phone cases and a few T-shirts, and then within a fortnight of that, they'd all gone.
Oh, what?
So they did literally sell out of everything.
It was ridiculous. Like, I've never seen people walking out with arms full of stuff like before. People were just loving all the merchandise.
Yeah.
So I think this year there needs to be a gigantic shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's in the Macy's bit. It's going to be in it.
Well, that's it. You know, you've got that space there. They can, they could probably move into a bit of the Mummy's queue if they wanted to.
Well, yeah, because barely any of that gets used, really, does it?
Yeah, they don't really use it, and particularly at Halloween Horror Nights, there's never a queue for the Mummy, so...
No, exactly.
And also, on top of all this, we've missed, there was some original houses announced, wasn't there?
There was indeed. So, the one that I'm the most excited about is Tomb of the Ancients.
Yeah, me too.
I am crazy excited for this one.
Me too. Logan and I think this is going to be like Indiana Jones.
Do ya?
Yeah, we're just hoping.
Love it. I think this one's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I do as well.
So this one is going to be like Egyptian-y, South American-y, Asian-y type mythology. and mummies and other kind of creatures. And I think it's going to be incredible. I don't remember where this one's going to be, though.
Wasn't it one of the sound stages? I think this one wasn't it?
I think so. I don't remember.
Yeah, one of the sound stages by the looks of it.
I think it's going to be so good, though.
Because, I mean, that will be an epic house, that one. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. And then the next one was Ghost Town, The Curse of Lightning Gulch. So this is... Well, it was called Requel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So this is going to be either like a continuation or like a retelling of the Ghost Town house from 2004. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's a sequel that has been done to that house, but it's a bit like the Christopher Nolan Batmans. You know, it's not a sequel of Tim Burton's Batmans. It's just a retelling, but in a new, different way.
So this one's going to be pretty exciting, and it's Western themed, and it's about this town that people used to go to look for gold, and then everyone pretty much died, and then there's a big storm, and the storm swallowed the entire town, and now the only time that you see the town is when lightning strikes it. So it's going to be an interesting one, and the props in that little video that Halloween Horror Nights put up look awesome.
They've gone all out for these two houses, haven't they?
Yeah, they all look so authentic and so cool. I'm definitely excited for this one.
Yeah.
Definitely. So then the third original house was Chance's one. So we talked a little bit about it before, but Chance's house is going to be in the Men in Black queue, extended queue, and it is where we're going to see the two different sides. So my favourite bit that I read in the Universal blog is that she's going to have cut some of her fellow inmates up and kind of stitched them together to make them into marionettes. And I was thinking, on one side of this maze, we're going to see like this big, amazing thing with all bright lights around it. And then on the other side, we're going to see like a minging, horrible, stitched together corpse.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, 100%. I am excited for that.
Yeah, that will be... Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I think in the early days, I think they had a few problems with them 3D houses. They was a bit gimmicky, but I think now they've got it. I think they can nail this right on the head, this one. Yeah,
well, I mean, a lot of the 3D houses in the past, I've preferred without the 3D glasses on.
Yeah.
So I've gone through kind of once with the glasses on and then another time without them on. I have preferred it without them. But I think they're going to do really cool things in 3D with this one.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely excited to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, there's no houses this year that I'm not excited for. I mean, I equally am excited for all of them.
Exactly. I'm even excited for Walking Dead.
I know, me too, weirdly, because it's kind of like it's swan song now, isn't it? It's like the last time we're going to see Walking Dead for... Well, if UUOP's rumours are to be believed, it may be coming permanently to Universal Orlando. So goodbye Terminator, maybe.
Try Terminator. But I'm excited about them all as well. I am definitely excited about Walking Dead because I think it's going to go out with a bang.
Yeah, I think so. To be honest with you, if you look back at the last 4 years worth of Walking Dead houses, every single year they've always upped it. They've always, tweaked it and added some new stuff and tried to make it a little bit more creative. Different things, maybe just subtle things some years, but every year they have tried to do something with it to make it not the same old basically. So I think when it being its final year, they've got to go out on a high, haven't they?
Exactly. I think it's going to be really, really good, and I'm excited to see all of the seasons brought together in one house. I was surprised actually that this wasn't the Uber house.
Yeah, I was quite surprised about that as well. I mean, from a cost point of view, it's pretty good because they can reuse a lot of stuff, can't they?
Oh yeah.
I must admit, the first Walking Dead house was pretty good with the hospital and the shopping centre. That was quite atmospheric that year.
Uh-huh.
So if they bring some of those scares back, they were pretty good ones, those ones.
Exactly. I think everything's going to be really good this year. I think it's going to be strong competition for last year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm even interested to see how they're going to pull off The Exorcist.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's one that's in like my top 4, I think, of ones that I'm excited about the most. I'm just curious to see how they're going to do it.
So what are your top 4 then, most interested ones?
I think it's going to be American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be The VR House.
Okay, yeah.
Tomb of the Ancients. And then Exorcist.
Cool.
And they're not necessarily ones that I think are going to be the best. They're just the ones that I think I'm going to go to first because I want to see what's going on with them.
Yeah. So are you going to go... Sorry.
What do you think yours are?
I'm interested to see how they're going to do Exorcist.
Uh-huh.
I'd quite equally like to see them all. I mean, definitely the one that's going to be the Mummy House.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to see that because those mummy houses they did before were pretty darn good. Yeah, and I think American Horror Story as well,
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Oh, Chris, we forgot one scare zone.
Oh, did we?
Dead Man's Wharf.
Of course, yeah.
So, this one is going to be a shipping vessel went out to sea and it didn't come back. So then the town around the fisherman's wharf left the wharf kind of abandoned in a memorial to them. But then all this crazy fog's going to roll in and all of these dead fishermen are going to come and take revenge on the town for abandoning them.
Wow.
So, remember a few months ago, I don't know if I've made this up or not, but I'm so sure that somebody, and it was probably you, to be honest, had said that there was a company that made things for Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Were making some kind of sea creatures.
Yes.
Was that you?
Yes, that was me.
I feel like that was you.
Yeah, that was me. They were. That's true. Do you know what? I'd forgotten that. I'm glad you reminded me.
Yeah, that literally, it came to me yesterday and I was like, I'm sure that was Chris. And I was like, trying to find it and I was like, can't find it.
They did. They created these these molds to make some suits up for these kind of weird looking bit like the Sea Devils from Doctor Who.
Oh, I don't watch Doctor Who.
Yeah, I know, but Mike Aiello, as we found out in Scare Zone, is a huge Doctor Who fan. But basically like a sea lizard.
Right.
And they did look kind of reminiscent of that. So I'm going to have to check that company out again, see what they're up to.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think this isn't just going to be fishermen. I think it's going to be all kinds of weird sea creatures.
Yeah.
I think there'll be like weird mermaids, weird fishy things. I think it's going to be so good to look at.
Definitely. Where are we kind of guessing this is going to be, this one?
Thinking in the San Francisco bit, like near the actual wharf bit.
Okay, yeah, cool.
But
perfect place.
Is that going to work with Fast and Furious construction?
Yeah, I don't know how much they've demolished over there. They've completely demolished Earthquake, haven't they?
Well, they've just put a sign up over the toilets that were next to Earthquake.
Yeah.
That say, like Wharfside Cannery or something like that, and that's new.
All right.
So that's making me think that it will be there. That's the best place that I'd work, though. I can't imagine it being anywhere else.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely going to be there. That's where it's going to work the best. They'd be daft if they didn't put it there. They'll have to just work around the construction.
Yeah, because Richterberger, is that still there?
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, I'm just getting some news just in.
Ooh.
Sorry, listeners, for the pause. It's just been constant blur today, hasn't it? With just news coming in and I'm just getting permission to tell everyone. Yeah, I mean, literally this morning we put up the American Horror Story. 2 hours later, Universal put up their own announcement to say it was definitely happening. And then we've had all sorts of news from different people coming into our site, from scare actors saying, "Oh, I'm going to be this character and that character." I actually had one of the oh no, I probably shouldn't say, I'll get in trouble.
Chris.
I had someone that thinks they might be the clown from the carnival.
Oh, Twisty.
Yeah, is that his name?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, that's a mask, isn't it? Those teeth. It's not like his.
Yeah, it's a mask. Yeah. But in the video that I'm putting up in a minute, we did it with face paint.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's what you've been doing this afternoon then.
Yeah, I've been very busy today.
Oh, God, Amanda. The Krampus one was scary enough, let alone.
I was terrified wearing it. I was so scared. Like, every makeup that I've done, I've been by myself in the house and I've been like, oh, if the postman comes, I'm done for.
Oh, can you imagine that?
Oh. Well, when I'd put a little page thing at the end of my last video, because I did really think it was going to come to Orlando, and I understand why it's probably not. But Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood announced it there, so I thought, okay, I'm still going to finish this costume, and I'm still going to put a little video together of it. So I had to walk out of my house at like 3 o'clock in the morning so that no one would be around, wearing this tutu and a corset covered in fake blood. So I got to an alley, and then Ash had to stand in this alley filming me.
Oh my
and I thought I was going to get murdered.
You look like you'd been murdered.
I know. But then I was walking back to my house, like, really, really fast, and these cars were going past me, and I was like, oh, Ash, I feel so embarrassed.
Couldn't you have, like, brought a long coat with you or something?
Like, nothing would fit over this tutu. I'd made this tutu so sticky-outy that nothing would go over it, and the fake blood was all still wet.
Oh, no.
I know, I bought, like, the most rubbish fake blood ever, and it was just dead tacky, and it stained me for, like, 3 days. So the things I go through to make these videos.
I know. They're well worth it, though. They're bloody good videos.
Thanks. I've loved making them. I'm dead sad that there's going to be no more announcements now.
I know. It is annoying, really, isn't it? I mean, they could have just waited with the VR house or something, and you could have done a sort of a Legendary Truth video or something. They kind of rushed it all out in one go, haven't they?
Exactly. That video I filmed it twice because I filmed it and I was so sick. So the video turned out rubbish, and then they announced the VR house, and I was like, all right, I'm going to have to film this video now. Yeah,
exactly.
So it was just really quickly put together. But if it gets announced what exactly you're going to see in the VR house, then I'll probably release another video on that then.
Yeah, I know it's definitely connected to Legendary Truth.
Uh-huh.
So there's that about it. But I also did hear for sure that The Purge was definitely going to be at Orlando.
Yeah, like I was so convinced that it was going to be, but I do understand kind of why it's not. Yeah. I think it would have been a bit of a sensitive thing to do, but I'm so excited for Hollywood getting it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, last year the Terror Tram was The Purge themed, and that was intense.
Yeah. And isn't it, it's going to be one big scare zone, isn't it, in Hollywood?
Yeah, the problem with Hollywood is it's so, it's got lots of parcels, if that makes sense. Because you've got the top of the hill, you go down the escalators to the lower lot, and then that's another area. And then you have to get on a tram to go to the back lot, which is another parcel of land. And then you have to get on another tram that takes you to another parcel of land that's at the back of the back lot, and that's another one. So it'll be almost like 4 different scare zones, probably.
Wow, I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so it's very different in Hollywood.
Are you going to go to Hollywood this year?
I'm tempted. I've been asked to.
Oh, I want to go so much.
If I've got time, I may do it.
Do it, and then you can tell us all how it was.
We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, you want to hear what the big news is?
Yes.
This is hot off the press, unplanned. I've just received an email from Universal about this. As you may know, did you watch the video that the Trackers put up the other day?
Yes.
Now, the Trackers were talking about some rumours they'd heard that we were getting Jack the Clown on Scarezone.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I can confirm we are not getting Jack the Clown on Scarezone.
Okay.
But we are getting the man who plays Jack the Clown on Scarezone.
Yes, amazing.
So this has just come through, hot off the press. Universal just approved it. I'll be honest with you, Logan and I have been working on this for months.
Oh, wow.
It's one of the main reasons we started Six Scarezone, if I'm honest. It's just to interview James Keaton.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
So, yeah, because they're, obviously it's very brand aware. And, Jack is, all right, not this year, but Jack is going forward and has been the anchor of the event. So, as you can appreciate, Universal, they're very protective of the character. So they don't just let any Tom, Dick and Harry speak to James. Because it is, as I've said before, James Michael Roddy, who was very instrumental in creating Jack the Clown, it's very much that it's his Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And he no longer works at Universal, he now works at Disney. So it's very much Universal's Mickey Mouse, effectively. So, so they have granted us permission to interview James. And we've got quite a long list of things we're allowed to talk about and things we're not allowed to talk about. But luckily, the list of things we can talk about is much longer. So, I'm really looking forward to it. We're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's, but hopefully it will be recorded before the end of this week.
Wow.
So this week we're recording this on the 16th. So hopefully by 17, 18, so 18, 19th of August, something like that, we'll be sitting down with him to record that. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, amazing. I'm so excited for us to do it.
Well, we've taken so long to sort out because we had to tell them what we wanted to talk about and what he was happy to talk about and what we wanted to how we wanted to present everything and duration and where he would be, where we would be, and who would be in the room. And then this all had to be approved by art and design and by marketing, and then had to go up to the directors just to make sure they were cool with what we wanted to do. So it's taken a very long time to sort out. So I'm really, really grateful for Universal to allowing us this, because this will be an exclusive, because they won't, they've never let anyone. Well, I say they've never let anyone. They've been very, very careful. He did last year a charity event. Or was it this year, the charity event?
I think it was the beginning of this year.
Yeah, it was the beginning of this year, wasn't it? Yeah. So he did that, and I think he's done other bits and pieces. I know he's been interviewed as Jack a few times for the radio.
Yeah.
For when Jack has been the icon for the event. So, yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Oh, this is just going to be so exciting.
I was really excited to speak to the guy that played Krampus. And how I'm going to be talking to the actual bloke that plays Jack.
Oh no! I'm just like, hi. I'm dead now.
So, send me some questions. If we can get this up Wednesday. Yeah, so if we can get this up Wednesday and you're listening to this, it's Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday, email me, message me, Facebook. If you can't find me, find Amanda. Send us your questions of any good ones that you've got, and then if we've got time, I'll add them onto the list.
But you'll have to fight me for my 10,000 questions.
So I was going to put you on the spot and say what would be your best question, but I won't.
I don't know. I'll have to think of an amazing one.
Because you've got 500 probably.
Yeah, hundreds. I just love him.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's
fantastic.
Brilliant. I've just sent him a signed book, and in it I put, to my friend James Keaton, the modern day Lon Chaney.
awesome.
That's what I wrote in it.
That's the best signed book ever.
Well, the thing is with him, and I'll be going through this with him on the show, is we know him as Jack, but actually he has played probably everybody in the park. I don't know if he's played Terminator, but he's probably played him at some point.
Probably. He's been everywhere, and he's even been the Shrunken Head, hasn't he, in the bus?
He is, yeah. He does that now, I believe.
Wow.
He was even... he was Ted for a long time.
Uh-huh.
In Bill and Ted. He was after the first year, because the first year and the second year, I think Bill and Ted were played by people who were stuntmen from the Wild West stunt show. And I think after year 2, he was Ted for at least 3 or 4 years.
Wow. And didn't he do the Grinch as well?
He's been Grinch, I believe, every year. He's been Beetlejuice for a lot of times.
Uh-huh.
He's been the caretaker.
Yeah.
What else has he been? I think I was doing some research about where he's been.
He's been a few different things at Halloween Horror Nights, hasn't he? Like, wasn't he someone at the Terror Queen one?
He was Illmouth.
Right.
Looking through my notes. He was in Bill and Ted for the first 10 years, and he played Ted in at least 4 years.
Did he play the Crow in Bill and Ted?
I don't know. He might have done.
I don't know if I'm thinking of the right person, but I think that he might have. Maybe.
Yeah, he might have done.
Because that's awesome. He's just such a flexible guy with his acting skills.
Oh, he is. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. If it had been in Hollywood or something, he'd be in all different films he's so versatile.
Yeah. He is such a cool guy and so good at acting. And I can't think of anyone else that could play Jack in the way that he does.
Yeah, because he really does make the character, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that the other guy that played Jack quite a bit, he's just left, hasn't he? He's gone to work, I believe, for WWE. But he, when he was playing Jack, you could tell it wasn't James playing Jack, if that makes sense, quite obviously.
Mm-hmm. I feel the same about Chance though as well, because there's been a couple of nights where I've seen a different Chance that wasn't Erin being Chance, and you could tell. Funny
enough, there's been 2 different women play Chance quite a bit, and they're both called Erin.
Well, the Erin that I really like.
Yeah, I know the one you mean. The one who's Chance this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Erin. Yeah. So we've got that to look forward to this week. So I'm going to be brushing up on all my knowledge of Halloween Horror Nights for the last, because he's been involved. Just think, he's been involved with Halloween Horror Nights every single year.
Yeah.
In some way or another.
So he is like the Halloween Horror Nights master.
Pretty much, because some of the years he's been just a dancer, other years he's been an actor, some years he's been in the houses, other years he's just been in like photo opportunities with Jack, and then some years he's actually obviously been Jack and fronted the whole thing. So he's done it all.
Oh, this is going to be such a good Scare Zone episode.
Oh, I know, I can feel it.
It's going to be awesome. And you guys have just released t-shirts as well.
We have, yeah. We've been working with a chap called Rob. I will tweet his handle out soon. He's updated our logo for us, and then he's designed these t-shirts for us that we've put on sale. And we've already had quite a few sales, believe it or not.
I just love the fact that you have got like little girl sizes. Like, not actual child sizes, like ones that will fit me.
I think Gary bought one, didn't he? Is it Gary?
Yeah, he
Gary.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the one with the Ouija board kind of logo on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, our new main logo.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go for like the girly vest one.
Good idea. Good idea.
Yeah, we need some Diz After Dark ones, don't we?
We do. We need a logo for Diz After Dark. We've been talking about this, haven't we?
Yeah. If anyone is good at making logos, help us out. Because I'm not very good at making stuff like that.
No.
No, and the last guy that messaged me about it, he turned the conversation around pretty quickly, so I didn't get a logo out of it.
Oh, man.
I know. But I think that's it, isn't it?
I think that's everything.
Yeah, so lots of Halloween Horror Night stuff, some dragon stuff, some chocolatey stuff, and that's it.
That's everything. I mean, even hot off the press news like that, eh?
Yes. It's always an exciting podcast with us, isn't it?
That's it. Who needs the others? I mean, who needs them?
Yeah, we'll just fill you with news and food.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'll share a McFlurry with you all.
But it's melted now, isn't it?
It probably is, yeah.
Right, okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us once again on Diz After Dark, the Universal Edition. Please like and what else do they do? Review us on iTunes, and we'll see you on the next show.
Bye!
Drew, bye.
This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.